Hello friends and welcome. Today we shall talk about general description, classification, extraction, uses and health implications of soybean. The main objectives of today's deliberation are: Number 1. To gain knowledge about the soybean, its habit and general classification. Number 2. To know about the general description of soybean. Number 3. To gain an insight into the mechanism of extraction of soybean oil. Number 4. To study in detail different uses of soybean. And finally, to study the health implications of soybean oil. General description. Soybean or soy is a legume of the family Papilionaceae, to which other well-known plants belong, such as beans or peas. Soybean is economically the most important bean in the world, providing vegetable protein for millions of people and ingredients for hundreds of chemical products. The origin of the soybean plant is obscure, but many botanists believe it was first domesticated in central China as early as 7000 BC. An ancient crop, the soybean has been used in China, Japan, and Korea for thousands of years as a food and a component of medicines. The soybean is an erect branching plant and can reach more than 2 meters in height. Its taproot can extend to 2 meters deep in good soil conditions, with secondary roots exploring the upper 15 to 20 centimeters of the soil. Root bear nodules resulting from Bradyrhizobium japonicum infection. Leaves are trifoliate and leaflets are oval to lanceolate. The self-fertilizing flowers are white or a shade of purple. Seeds can be yellow, green, brown, black or bicolored, though most commercial varieties have brown or tan seeds, with 1 to 4 seeds per pod. In the United States, the majority of soybean crops are genetically modified for resistance to the herbicide glyphosate. The soybean may be cultivated in most types of soil, but it thrives in warm, fertile, well-drained sandy loam. The crop is planted after all danger of frost is past. Soybeans are usually harvested mechanically after the leaves have fallen off the plant and the moisture content of the seed has dropped to 13%, permitting safe storage. Like other legumes, the plant adds nitrogen to the soil by means of nitrogen-fixing bacteria and historically has been an important soil-enriching crop, though this practice is not common in most industrial agricultural systems. Soybean is one of the richest and cheapest sources of protein and is a staple in the diets of people and animals in numerous parts of the world. The seed contains 17% oil and 63% meal, 50% of which is protein. Because soybeans contain no starch, they are a good source of protein for diabetics. In East Asia, the bean is extensively consumed in the form of soy milk, a whitish liquid suspension, and tofu, a curd somewhat resembling cottage cheese. Soybeans are also sprouted for use as a salad ingredient or as a vegetable and may be eaten roasted as a snack food. Young soybeans, known as edamame, are commonly steamed or boiled and eaten directly from the pod. Soy sauce, a salty brownish liquid, is produced from crushed soybeans and wheat that undergo yeast fermentation in salt water for 6 months to a year or more. It's a ubiquitous ingredient in Asian cooking. Other fermented soy foods include tempeh, miso, and fermented bean paste. Now, coming to the classification of glycine max. Soybean belongs to domain Eukaryota, kingdom Plantae, phylum Agnelophyta, class Dicotyledon, order Fabaceae, family Fabaceae, genus Glycine, and species Max. Now, let us discuss extraction of soybean oil. Soybean oil is a vegetable oil extracted from the seeds of the soybean. It is one of the most widely consumed cooking oils. There are two methods of soybean oil production. One is mechanical way, which is a traditional method that uses screw press machine to squeeze oil out from seeds and kernels. The other way is chemical method that extract oil with solvents. To produce soybean oil, the soybeans are cracked, adjusted for moisture content, heated to between 60 and 88 degrees Celsius, rolled into flax and solvent extracted with hexanes. The oil is then refined, blended for different applications and sometimes hydrogenated. The various steps involved in the extraction are: Number 1. Dehulling. The soybeans are first cleaned, dried and dehulled prior to oil extraction. The soybean hulls need to be removed because they absorb oil and give a lower yield. This dehulling is done by cracking the soybeans. Magnets are used to separate any iron from the soybeans. Soybeans are also heated to about 75 degrees Celsius to coagulate the soy proteins to make the oil extraction easier. The purpose of soybean cracking is to provide pieces of the right size to make the best flakes for oil extraction and to remove the hulls. Next step is percolation. Cleaned and dehulled soybeans are conditioned by heating to 74 degrees Celsius to soften the meal prior to flaking using smooth roller mills. Proper cracking and conditioning are important to achieve the desired cell distortion or cell rupture that is necessary for efficient extraction and to prevent production of excessive amounts of fine meal particles that impede proper flaking or extraction. Highly distorted cells are desired so that cell walls and pseudomembranes around oil bodies are sufficiently ruptured, and the oil can be easily contacted by the solvent and leached out. Soybeans are typically flacked to 0.25 mm to achieve the desired distortion. The flax may be conveyed directly to the extractor or to an expander. Here the soybean flakes are put in percolation extractors and immersed with the solvent, normally hexane. Counterflow is used as extraction system because it gives the highest yield. After removing the hexane, the extracted flakes only contain about 1% of soybean oil and is used as livestock meal or to produce food products such as soy protein. The hexane is separated from soybean oil in evaporators. The evaporated hexane is recovered and returned to the extraction process. The hexane-free crude soybean oil is then further purified. Next is the purification of soybean oil. The crude soybean oil still contains many oil-insoluble and oil-soluble impurities that needs to be removed. The oil-insoluble material are removed with filtration and the soluble material is removed with different processes including degumming, alkali refining, bleaching, hydrogenation, deodorization and winterization. First is degumming. Crude soybean oil contains a relatively high concentration of phospholipids compared with other vegetable oils. Degumming is a process of removing these components from crude soybean oil to improve its physical stability and facilitate further refining. Phospholipids can lead to dark-colored oils and they can also serve as precursors of off-flavor compounds. Free fatty acids, pigments, and other impurities are also partially removed by degumming. Soybean oil can also be neutralized directly without degumming if gum or lecithin recovery is not desired. Normal quality soybean oil from the conventional solvent extraction contains about 90% hydratable and 10% non-hydratable phospholipids. Phosphoric or citric acid can be used as a pre-treatment to achieve more complete removal of non-hydratable phospholipids, but their presence in the gum will darken it and reduce its quality. Degumming can be achieved in a batch or continuous fashion. In batch degumming, soft water at the same percentage as total phospholipid is added to oil heated to 70 degrees Celsius and mixed it thoroughly for 30 to 60 minutes, followed by settling or centrifuging. In continuous water degumming, heated oil is mixed with water by an inline proportioning and mixing system, and the mixture is held in a retention vessel for 15 to 30 minutes before centrifugation. The phosphorus content is typically lowered to 12 to 170 ppm. A well-degummed soybean oil should contain less than 50 ppm of phosphorus, which is well below the 200 ppm level specified in the National Oilseed Processors Association trading rules for crude degummed soybean oil. Neutralization. It's also referred to as deacidification and alkali or caustic refining. Neutralization is achieved by treating the soybean oil with aqueous alkaline solution, most commonly sodium hydroxide, to neutralize the free fatty acids in a batch or continuous system. The soap formed in the reaction also absorbs natural pigments, the gums, and mucilaginous substances not removed by degumming. Natural settling or centrifugation is used to remove the soap. Crude soybean oil also can be neutralized directly without degumming. When this is practiced, the oil commonly is pre-treated with 300 to 1000 ppm of 75% phosphoric acid to facilitate removal of phospholipids. The percentage of excess sodium hydroxide solution required for crude oil is higher than that for degummed oil. One of the new developments in neutralization is the use of silica-based adsorbent to remove the residual soap instead of using water washing. Bleaching. It's a process designed not only to remove the oxidation-inducing pigments such as chlorophylls, but more importantly to decompose the peroxides produced by oxidation into lower molecular weight carbonyl compounds that can be removed by subsequent deodorization. Bleaching also removes other impurities such as soap and metal ions. In soybean oil refining, color reduction occurs at each step. Nevertheless, the most significant reduction of chlorophylls occurs in the bleaching step. Acid-activated bleaching clay is most effective in absorbing chlorophylls and decomposing peroxides, and it is commonly used for soybean oil. The chlorophyll content in normal crude soybean oil 1 to 1.5 ppm can be reduced by 25% by alkali refining, and bleaching with acid further reduced chlorophylls to 15 ppm. Hydrogenation. The high degree of unsaturation, particularly the relatively high content of linolenate of soybean oil, significantly limits its food applications because of low oxidative stability. Hydrogenation is used to improve oxidative stability as well as to increase the melting temperature of soybean oil. A great proportion of soybean oil is hydrogenated to produce cooking oil, bakery, confectionery fats, and shortening. When oil is treated with hydrogen gas in the presence of catalyst, typically nickel, and under appropriate agitation and temperature conditions, it becomes more saturated and forms a semi-solid or plastic fat that is suitable for many food applications. This process will increase the stability of the soybean oil and will make it less liquid. However, this process will create more saturated fats and will reduce the favorable unsaturated fats. In addition, trans fats are produced which can cause heart problems. Hydrogenated soybean oil is used in foods that require more solid fat such as margarines. Deodorization. It is usually the last step in conventional oil processing. It is a steam stripping process in which good quality steam, 1 to 3% of oil, generated from deaerated and properly treated feed water is injected into soybean oil under high temperature and high vacuum to decompose peroxides and vaporize the free fatty acids and odorous compounds. Deodorization relies on the large differences in volatility between the triacylglycerols and other undesirable components under certain conditions. The musty and earthy odor produced from bleaching and the hydrogenation odor and flavor are effectively removed by deodorization. The free fatty acids, typically ranging from 0.1% to 0.5% in neutralized oil and 0.5% to 5% in oil to be physically refined, or also reduced to below 0.03%, a value used as an indicator for deodorization efficiency. During the deodorization process, many desirable reactions takes place, but some undesirable reactions such as lipid hydrolysis, polymerization and isomerization also occur. Therefore, the deodorization temperature is carefully controlled to achieve optimum quality of the finished soybean oil product. Winterization is the process in which the more saturated molecular species in the oil are solidified and removed by a low temperature treatment, which increases the cold storage physical stability of the oil. Partially hydrogenated soybean oil with 110 to 115 iodine value, that is intended for use as salad and cooking oil, should be fractionated. By doing so, the more saturated molecules and some high melting trans isomers are removed to produce clear oil that meets low temperature storage requirements. Now let us know some uses of soybean. Soybeans are often called the miracle crop. They are the world's foremost provider of vegetable protein and oil. From animal feed to fuel, the soybean has become an integral part of everyday life. The best known and most widely used products from soybeans are soybean oil and soybean meal. Soybean oil is the most widely used edible oil in the world, and soybean meal is the leading protein and energy source for animal feeds. Soybean oil is used as cooking oil and as the base for shortening, margarine, salad dressings and mayonnaise. Lecithin extracted from soy oil during the refining process performs as an emulsifying agent, and when further processed is an important ingredient in confections, baked foods, dairy products and instant foods. Lecithin is also used in animal feed, health and nutrition products, cosmetics and industrial coatings. A rapidly growing market for soybean oil is found in the manufacture of a variety of pharmaceuticals such as vitamin E and other antioxidants as inexpensive aids to good health. Soybean oil is also used for industrial applications such as a basic carrier in inks, varnishes and paints. Many soaps, lubricants and sealants contain soybean oil. Soybean oil shows great potential as an environmentally friendly substitute for petroleum-based diesel fuel referred to as biodiesel. Soybean meal is considered a premium product because of its high digestibility, high energy content and consistency. Properly processed dehulled soybean meal is an excellent source of protein and is used extensively in feed for swine, poultry, fish, beef and dairy cattle and specialty animals including pet food. Such feeds must be formulated to fit exact nutritional requirements to each stage of the life cycle. Soybean meal is also used as the basis for a variety of soy protein products including soy flour, soy concentrate, soy isolates and textured soy protein. Soy protein not only provides nutritional value and health benefits but also offers many functional properties including emulsification and water holding capacity. Soy flour is made from roasted soybeans ground into a fine powder containing 50% protein by weight. Soy flour comes in three forms: natural or full fat, defatted, and lecithinated. Natural or full fat contains natural oils found in the soybean. Defatted has the oils removed during processing. Lecithinated has lecithin added. Soy flour is gluten-free, so yeast-raised breads made with soy flour are dense in texture. Soy grits are similar to soy flour except that the soybeans have been toasted and cracked into coarse pieces. Soy protein concentrates are made by removing a portion of the carbohydrates from defatted and dehulled soy flakes. Concentrates are a high digestible source of amino acids that retain most of the bean's dietary fiber. By definition, it must contain at least 65% protein. Soy protein isolates are prepared through a process using water extraction and minimum heat on soy flakes. The end product is nearly carbohydrate and fat-free with no characteristic beany flavor. Soy protein isolates prepared this way are 90% protein by dry weight, possessing the greatest amount of protein of all the soy products. They are highly digestible source of amino acids and because of the bland taste can be added to the foods without affecting their flavor. Isolated soy proteins are widely used as a nutritional, functional or economic alternative to traditional proteins. Textured soy protein usually refers to products made from textured soy flour and textured soy protein concentrates. It's used as a meal extender or analog and can be added to a meal to increase its protein content. TSP has a texture similar to ground beef or other meal products and must be rehydrated with boiling water before use. Textured soy flavor is made by running defatted soy flour through an extrusion cooker. This allows for many different forms and sizes. It contains 50% protein as well as the dietary fiber and soluble carbohydrates from the soybean. When hydrated, it has a chewy texture and is widely used as a meal extender. Textured soy flour is sold dried in granular and chunk form and is bland in flavor. Soy protein concentrates are made by extrusion and are found in different forms and sizes. Textured soy protein concentrates typically contain 70% protein as well as the dietary fiber from the soybean. When hydrated, they have a chewy texture and contribute to the texture of meal products. Soybeans do not always have to be cracked and flaked to have useful value, nor are they used the same way in all countries. Consumers enjoy roasted and flavored whole soy nuts, soy-based milk, yogurt, cheese, protein bars, and cereals. Whole soybeans are used for traditional foods like tofu, miso, natto, tempeh, and edamame. Now, coming to the health implications of soybean oil. Number 1. Health benefits of soybean oil. Soybean oil and diabetes. Insulin resistance is one of the metabolic alterations characterized by an abnormal response of circulating insulin, which is associated with glucose intolerance and decreased glucose uptake by peripheral insulin responsive tissue. Therefore, insulin resistance precedes the onset of type 2 diabetes mellitus. Mono or polyunsaturated fatty acids have been described to improve insulin sensitivity and to exert anti-obesity action. Furthermore, shifting from a diet rich in saturated fatty acids to one rich in monounsaturated fatty acids ameliorates insulin sensitivity in healthy people. A recent study showed that animals treated with 100 microliter soybean oil for 7 days developed insulin resistance and the expression of GLUT4, a transmembrane glucose transporter, was 60% lower in adipose tissue while no effects were observed in skeletal muscle. It has been shown that low amount of soybean oil rich in both linoleic and alpha-linoleic acids ameliorates the diabetic phenotype and restores delta-6 desaturase levels. controls cholesterol levels. Soybean oil can seriously decrease the chances of getting atherosclerosis and other heart conditions such as heart attacks and strokes. The good balance of fatty acids contained in soybean oil means that the body can get the important and necessary fatty acids in its diet, including those which regulate cholesterol levels. Omega-3 fatty acids can reduce dangerous cholesterol levels and counteract the negative types. Furthermore, the other fatty acids like stearic acid, palmitic acid, and oleic acid are also found in balanced quantities. The fatty acid composition of soybean oil as well as the powerful plant sterols such as alpha-sitosterol can actually cause a reduction in cholesterol storage in the gut by 10 to 15%. Treats Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's is a terrible disease that affects millions of people around the world. It results in the cognitive deterioration of a person's brain as neural connections fail and die, thereby making everything from remembering the past to performing simple tasks a challenge. Soybean oil has an impressively high level of vitamin K, which has been consistently connected with improving the symptoms of Alzheimer's and even reversing the effects in some cases. The vitamin K acts as an antioxidant against free radicals, keeping them from damaging the neural cells. Boosts bone health. Another important function of vitamin K is its osteotrophic potential, which means that it can stimulate the regrowth or increased healing of bones. While this is often associated with calcium, vitamin K, of which soybeans has a lot, can also stimulate bone development in a very positive way. Therefore, one must switch to soybean oil to prevent certain conditions like osteoporosis, which is often a natural result of the aging process. Improves vision. Omega-3 fatty acids, which make up to 7% of the total fatty acid content in soybean oil, helps to protect the cell membranes. This includes the very fragile and dangerous areas of the skin and eyes, both of which are common entrance points for bacteria and other foreign materials. These omega-3s also promote healthier vision by acting as antioxidants and neutralizing free radicals that can cause macular degeneration and cataracts. Skincare. The high vitamin E content in soybean oil also acts as a powerful antioxidant while similarly protecting the skin from damage caused by free radicals. Vitamin E is directly associated with improving the appearance of blemishes, reducing acne scarring, protecting the skin against sunburn, and stimulating the regrowth of new skin cells to promote healing. Vitamin E is also associated with general antioxidant activity in the rest of the body, which boosts the immune system and helps to eliminate free radicals that cause certain conditions like cancer, premature aging, cognitive disorders, and heart diseases. Helps in preventing anemia. Soybean oil can prevent some diseases if it is consumed regularly. One of them is anemia, which is caused by the lack of iron in the body. Highest concern for vegetarian is having anemia because their diet food does not provide enough iron. Fortunately, from recent research, it has been seen that soybean oil contains really high level of iron. Therefore, the vegetarians do not need to worry again about where they will get it because they can fry tempeh with soybean oil. The iron present is in the form of ferritin, which can be easily absorbed by the body. Helps in lowering the risks of breast and colon cancer. Phytoestrogen contained in the soybean oil, which is able to maintain the estrogen level inside the body, also prevents the risks of developing breast and colon cancer. Research shows that Asian women are less prone to breast and colon cancer as compared to women in Europe. This is due to the regular consumption of soybean oil and other products of soybean by the Asians in comparison to the Europeans. Helps in keeping the digestive system healthy. Too much insoluble fat inside our body can cause the digestive system not to function smoothly. By having enough lecithin from soybean oil, the fats will dilute faster and will increase body's metabolic rate, and as a result of this, the toxic matter inside the body will be released out more easily. Number second is side effects of soybean oil. Soybean oil is safe for most adults when taken by mouth in amounts normally found in food and when applied to the skin as an insect repellent in recommended amounts. Pharmaceutical quality soybean oil is also safe when used as a nutritional supplement in intravenous feedings. However, a few side effects of soybean oil include allergies in persons who are hypersensitive to soybean and other soy products, problems like gynecomastia, changes in the mood, and obesity, which is more pronounced in men due to increase in estrogen levels. Soybean and other soy products has a number of minerals and components which can have various side effects on human body, but most of these minerals are prone to lose their effects when exposed to heat or cooking. Soybeans can contain anti-nutrients. This means they interfere with the body's ability to absorb nutrients from foods. Processing the plant into oil may reduce some of this effect but will not eliminate it entirely. With this, we conclude our today's lecture. Thanks for watching.